they gonna make us go up the ramp?
Yep.
Oh, man.
In this week's video, we're off on an adventure to a mysterious island for a couple of days, chasing sunsets, lighthouses, and maybe some good seafood. It's also the maiden voyage of my new Nikon Z6III. I'm so excited to test it out on this trip and see what it's capable of. After a couple of hours of early morning driving from Moncton to Black's Harbor, New Brunswick, a little leg stretching, and getting rid of the morning coffee at the ferry terminal bathroom, it was almost time to board the ferry to Grand Manan Island, located in the Bay of Fundy.
Into the belly of the beast.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, are they gonna make us go up the ramp?
Yep.
Oh, man.
That was certainly a first-time experience driving up on a ramp inside a boat, but after that we immediately headed for the top deck on this beautiful day to watch the boat pull away from the dock and out of the harbor. About halfway across, we got to watch the sister ferry pass us by on its return trip from the island. The fee for the ferry ride for the two of us in our vehicle was about $65 Canadian, round trip, which isn't that bad at all. After about 90 minutes on the water, we started to approach the island, and we were really excited to get to our Airbnb and start our exploring of the island. I was really loving the crisp, clear quality of the video that was coming out of my new Nikon Z6III. I'm really enjoying it so far. As we approached the island, we passed by Swallowtail Lighthouse, one of the major attractions on Grand Manan Island, and we couldn't wait to get our feet on land and go explore this part of the island on our first day there. We were very happy with our Airbnb once we arrived. We thought it was fantastic, and we were excited to spend the next couple of days there. It's a really nice place. There's all kinds of places to stay on Grand Manan Island, and we were happy with the one that we chose. All the video clips you see in this week's video, if not indicated, they were shot on my camera, but if they were shot on my phone like this clip right here, I will indicate on the screen so that you're able to differentiate between the two, the camera and the phone.
So after we had something to eat in town at a place called Post Office Pizza, we decided to explore Swallowtail Lighthouse and check it out. We saw it from the ocean side. Now we want to see it up close. My girlfriend Presley wasn't the biggest fan of the staircase and wide open bridge over the chasm to get out to the peninsula where the Swallowtail Lighthouse was positioned. She's not a big fan of heights, and this was definitely wide open and high up, so she took her time. She did scurry over the last little bit to get across, but she made it, and we made it out to the lighthouse. While we were making our way out to the lighthouse, I noticed that the ferry was leaving the harbor, so I rushed up to the helicopter pad to try and get a picture of both the ferry and the lighthouse together. That picture turns out, here it is now. We decided to end the day by driving from North Head, where we were staying, to Southwest Head Lighthouse, the southernmost tip of Manan Island. It's across from the northeastern coast of Maine, and the cliffs are amazing to look at. And we were going to check out the sunset, as we've been told they were amazing there. So we wanted to see what we could see. I centered my composition to try and take in as much of the cliffs and the sun setting over the coast of Maine as much as I could. The sun wasn't as epic as I was hoping it would be, but the view was still spectacular. If the shot turns out, here it is. After a pretty darn good night's sleep at our Airbnb, we woke up the next morning to a wonderful breakfast at a local diner, and then we were heading for a local attraction called the Hole in the Wall. It was a steep climb down, and we didn't quite know what to expect. We'd seen pictures of it, but we thought we'd check it out and do a little hiking. Thousands of years old and carved out by the waters of the Bay of Fundy in Whale Cove on Manan is this really unique structure, and I had to take a photo of it. Presley wasn't crazy about where I was climbing to take the picture, but if it turned out, here it is. Spent the rest of the day taking mile-long walks on the beach, checking out the scenery, going to local fishermen's wharfs, and on the hunt for a great seafood supper. Then it was on to sunsets. We woke up the next day to a very different surrounding. The fog had rolled in and sealed off the island, and I had to go back to Swallowtail to see what it looked like. Presley decided to stay at the gift shop near the entrance, and I went for an explore. This is wild. You can't even see the lighthouse. Holy shit. Watching the fog move across the peninsula was really mesmerizing and just a little bit creepy. Next up, we went back into North Head and visited some of the local shops, and then went to the well house to have a brief lunch before we wandered the docks, took some pictures, and got ready to take our ferry home. It was finally time to board the ferry and head back to the mainland. I'm so glad looking at this picture that we didn't have seas like this on either one of our journeys. That would have been horrible. We had a quick lunch on board and then decided to head for the deck, and there really wasn't much to show off at this point because we were still socked in by fog. Pretty much half the way home we were surrounded by fog even when we were driving on the highway. So this brings us to the end of our little journey to Grand Manan Island. If you enjoyed this video and this trip and seeing the pictures taken with my new Nikon Z6III, please hit like down below, hit subscribe, and come back for the next video, and I hope to see you again soon.